We'll now have the agency presentation on budget. Amy Cook, Director.
Good afternoon, Mr. Vice Chair, members. For the record, my name is Amy Cook, Executive Director of the Texas Racing Commission. I would first like to thank Judge Robert Pate and Dr. Connie McNabb for their tremendous support and leadership during the past 15 months. They've joined me here today in the hearing, and I very much appreciate their presence here as the Chair and Vice Chair of our Commission. I absolutely appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today with an overview of the transformational changes that our agency is making in response to the Sunset Advisory Commission concerns, some of which have been echoed since 1994. It has been my honor to serve in this position for the past 15 months. It only took me a few days on the job to realize that this agency had incredible potential to become a positive contributor to the public safety footprint across our great state, as well as an important part of the economic engine that powers Texas. The Texas equine industry, and horse racing in particular, is an important part of the cultural and historical landscape of Texas. Since 1881, our longest-running racetrack in Fredericksburg, Texas, has continued the tradition of horse racing in conjunction with the annual Gillespie County Fair. Today in Texas, however, our horse racing industry is at a crossroads, and in my judgment, the future is bright if we all work together to realize the possibilities of future growth. It is my belief that Texas can become the premier state for horse racing. That title can be ours with effective market competition. The vision that I set for this agency is to be the best state agency in the great state of Texas and the most professional racing commission in America. The transformational changes we are making are built on our new strategic framework, which has been incorporated into updated budget structures. Enable, protect, communicate, and partner, which can be found on page 10 of your handout. These lines of effort provide the foundation for a critical review of the enabling statute, regulatory framework, and agency business model that have been in place for over 30 years. Our first line of effort is enable. For the industry, this line of effort addresses economic growth, business opportunities, and market competition. For the agency, this line of effort addresses our resourcing model, which should be thought of in two distinct roles laid out on slide 13 of your handout. First, the agency has inherently governmental statutory compliant activities required of all state agencies regardless of mission, which I believe should be funded through a transparent general revenue process. Second, we have the responsibility to monitor, regulate, and enforce licensed activities and address unlicensed activities happening across the state, which should continue to be funded through GR dedicated funds. Our second line of effort is protect. This line of effort guards against the failures of the past to effectively deter, investigate, and adjudicate violations of the Texas Racing Act. Included in this line of effort is a strategy to protect our legitimate licensees from unregulated activities that impair their business model. These unregulated activities also include inhumane treatment of animals and manipulation of wagering pools at licensed racetracks. In addition to the challenges presented internally to Texas, this line of effort protects the Texas horse racing industry from federal intervention through increased safety protocols to mitigate risk for equine and human athletes. Our third line of effort is communicate. This line of effort works to establish continuous customer feedback at all levels to allow us to evaluate whether our governance model is serving the regulated industry and the citizens of Texas. We have established effective communication mechanisms through in-person engagements and public meetings across the state on the future of horse racing, which include a complete review of the Texas rules of racing. We have modernized all our current communication channels within existing resources to timely and accurately communicate policy changes to provide regulatory certainty for our business and occupational licensees. In addition to updating our web presence and using social media platforms, we have launched a YouTube channel with educational videos in English and Spanish to assist industry stakeholders in the licensing process. Our fourth and final line of effort is partner. No agency in the state ecosystem should attempt to carry out its mission without building partnerships and adopting best practices from across Texas. We are in a unique position today to reconsider everything about the agency, to rebuild it in such a way that will make all Texans proud to interact with us. To that end, we've created partnerships across the state to achieve our unique statutory mission, which is a fascinating blend of public safety, natural resources, business and commerce, and regulatory responsibilities. The way we accomplish this mission is through the critical feedback of our regulated industry and the incredible partnerships that we renewed with our sister agencies. I would personally like to thank the leadership of the Department of Information Resources, the Department of Public Safety, the Texas Facilities Commission, the Comptroller's Office, the Office of the Attorney General, the Animal Health Commission, and the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation for their tremendous support in the past year. Transformation of this agency began the day I arrived, and we need the support of the legislature to complete it in the short timeline that we have before we enter a sunset cycle again. The legislative appropriations request presented to you is not a request for the agency. Rather, it is a resourcing model for the agency to become the regulatory body that Texans deserve now and in the future. I look forward to answering your questions you may have about our transformational change and the statutory and fiscal items in our LAR, including the supplemental spending authority request for fiscal year 2023. We hope that you will embrace our request as an investment in the horse racing industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you for coming to the office the other day. There's been some discussion of new wagering endeavors here at the Capitol, sports betting and casino destination gambling. I know other states have combined racing and gaming commissions. Y'all are a relatively small agency. I believe you're probably in the running to maybe administer that, or that were to actually be seen as wise to move forward with one of these bills. But can you speak to your readiness to undertake that type of directive from the legislature? Is your agency the right agency to do that?
Absolutely. Of course, what you have sitting in front of you is a 35-year military veteran who has been all around the world, and when told to go do a mission, you tell me what you need done, and I will give you the plans and give you the options, and you can choose the option which you believe is best, and I will make that happen. Senator.
Appreciate the affirmative action answer. Thank you.
You know, I have to say that I really I've been involved with the Racing Commission for quite some time. And what I see now is stability, no more drama, plan of action with certain set of goals and execute on those goals and the plan of action. I think you have done an excellent job since you became director, along with Judge Pate. So thank you and the board for the work you've done in bringing stability to the Racing Commission.
Thank you, Senator. It's my honor to be in this position. It's a position of trust. I take it very seriously.
Senator Safarini.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, too, congratulate you on this transformation, and compliments to you and to the board. Certainly excellent work, and I'm impressed that this has no controversy at this point in time because of the history of conflict, really. So congratulations and thank you. What are your priority requests that are in this document that we have not funded?
Thank you, Senator. Our most important are really the 7 exceptional items. As Mr. Galvan mentioned, we relocated our legacy database with DIR's assistant into the Shared Technology Services Program. It's non-functional at this point. So we've worked with DIR, and they've provided us an estimate on how to become part of the Texas by Texas system. So we have an online interactive portal similar to what DPS and DMV have. So we're looking at that best practice, as well as DIR helping us design a new database that quite frankly, hopefully will model after what TDLR was trying to accomplish, which is an enterprise-wide licensing platform. We're trying to do what other agencies consider best practices to get after a much more interactive model for our licensees. As you all know, it's a big state, and a lot of our licensees are in rural counties, and they don't have access to online systems. But that Texas by Texas application, and then, kind of trying to find more ways to do outreach, I think is really important. In addition, the commission has been funded, kind of interestingly, as a seasonal FTE group. So our model was 180-day race, essentially 180-day live race days per year. So seasonal staff, however, it's a 365-day-a-year mission, and we're the only licensing agency that's open every weekend because we support our licensees that come from cities, counties, and actually internationally come to race horses. So the request to go to 96 FTEs brings us to the safety and integrity standards that I believe that we need to achieve. I would tell you that in one of the key parts in your presentation, and it's on slides 12 and 13, is the Horse Racing Integrity and Safety Act of 2020, which is the federal intervention I mentioned. We partner with the AG's office to keep that out of our state, but essentially that law seeks to take over Texas horse racing and criticizes us for not having appropriate safety mechanisms and protocols in place. And so the request that I made for FTEs is to really prevent federal intervention and really make sure we keep the licensees safe during live racing, as well as conduct our other statutory responsibilities.
At one time, there were a lot of concerns about bringing racing to Texas and what that would mean in terms of gambling addiction and drug use, et cetera. Have you had any significant problems in recent years related to any of those problems?
No, ma'am. And actually, what's really fascinating is right now, today we have 5 licensed racetracks that have live racing on the calendar. We have 10 total in Texas. So given all the dialogue about the federal law and all of that, there have been racing stables from Kentucky and Pennsylvania that have contacted me about moving to Texas. And I honestly think that, given Governor Abbott's wonderful ideas about encouraging economic growth in a lot of areas, if there was an economic incentive to move your horse racing stable there, I mean, we have more horses in Texas than any other state in the nation. We should be the premier horse racing state in the nation, and we can do it safely and with integrity, and nobody else has to keep that title from us because we can be number one. I'm just saying, if any other state out there is listening.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, happy to see no more drama. So thank you for your testimony, and we look forward to working with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Next, we have the Office of Public Insurance Counsel.